My hopes do shape him for governor.
They do discharge their shot of courtesy, our friends at least.
I pray you, sir, go forth, and give us truth who 'tis that is arrived.
I shall.
But good lieutenant, is your general arrived?
Most fortunately, he hath achieved a maid that paragons description and wild fame, one that excels the clerks of blazoning pins, and in the essential vesture of creation does tire the integer. How now, who is put in?
'Tis one Iago, ancient to the general.
Has had most favorable and happy speed, tempests themselves, high seas, and howling winds, the guttered rocks and congregated sands, traders and steep to clog the gutterless keel, as having sense of beauty do omit their mortal natures, letting go safely by the divine Desdemona.
What is she?
She that I spake of, our great captain's captain, left in conduct of the bold Iago, whose footing here anticipates our thoughts, as sea knight speed, great Jove, Othello guard, and swell his sail with thine own powerful breath, that he may bless this bay with his tall ship, make love's quick pants in Desdemona's arms, give renewed fire to our extincted spirits, and bring all Cyprus comfort. Oh, behold, the riches of the ship have come on shore. Ye men of Cyprus, let her have your knees. Hail to thee, lady, and grace of heaven, before, behind thee, and on every hand, and will thee round.
I thank you, valiant Cassio. What tidings can you tell me of my lord?
He is not yet arrived, nor know I aught, but that he's well and will be shortly here.
Oh, but I fear. How lost you company?
The great contention of the sea and skies parted our fellowship. But hark, a sail.
They give their greeting to the citadel. This likewise is a friend.
See further news. Good ancient, you are welcome. Welcome, mistress, let it not gall your patience. Good Iago, that I extend my manners, 'tis my breeding, that give me this bold show of courtesy.
Sir, would she give you so much of her lips as of her tongue she often bestows on me, you would have enough.
Alas, she has no speech.
In faith too much, I find it still when I have list to sleep. Marry, before your ladyship I grant. She puts her tongue a little in her heart and chides with thinking.
You have little cause to say so.
Come on, there are pictures out of doors, bells in your parlors, wildcats in your kitchens, saints in your injuries, devils being offended, players in your huswifery, and huswives in your beds.
Oh, fie upon thee, slanderer.
Nay, it is true, or else I am a Turk. You rise to play and go to bed to work.
You shall not write my praise.
No, let me not.
What wouldst thou write of me if thou should praise me?
Oh, gentle lady, do not put me to it, for I am nothing if not critical.
Come on, I say. There's one going to the harbor.
Aye, madam.
I am not merry, but I do beguile the thing I am seeming otherwise. Come, how wouldst thou praise me?
I am about it, but indeed my invention comes from my pate as birdlime does from frieze. It plucks out braid, this and all, but my muse labors, and thus she is delivered. And if she be fair than wise, fairness and wit, the one's for use, another useth it.
Well praised. How if she be black and witty?
If she be black and thereto have a wit, she'll find a white that shall her blackness hit.
Worse and worse.
How if fair and foolish?
She never yet was foolish that was fair, for even her foolly helped her to an error.
These are old fond paradoxes to make fools laugh in the alehouse. What miserable praise hadst thou for her that's foul and foolish?
There's none so foul and foolish thereunto, but those foul praise for fair and wise ones do.
O heavy ignorance! Thou praisest the worst best, but what praise canst thou bestow on a deserving woman indeed? One that in the authority of her merit did justly put on the vouch of very malice itself.
She was that ever fair and ever proud, had tongue at will and yet was never loud, never lacked gold and yet never went gay, fled from her wish and said, now I may. She that being angered, her revenge being nigh, bade her wrong stay, and her displeasure fly. She that in the wisdom never was so frail, to change the cod's head for the salmon's tail. She that could think and never disclose her mind, see suitors following and not look behind. She was a wight, if ever such a wight were.
To do what?
To suckle fools and chronicle small beer.
O most lame and impotent conclusion! Do not learn of him, Amelia, though he may be thy husband. How say you, Cassio? Is he not a profane counselor?
He speaks home, madam. You may relish him more in the soldier than in the scholar.
He takes her by the palm. Well said, whisper. With a little web as this, I will ensnare as great a fly as Cassio. I smile upon her, do. I will give thee in thine own courtship. You say true, 'tis so indeed. If such tricks as these strip you out of your lieutenantry, it had better not you kiss these free fingers so oft, which now again you are most apt to play the sir in. Very good, well kissed. An excellent courtesy, 'tis so indeed. Yet again your fingers to your lips, would they clyster pipes for your sake?
The Moor, I know his trumpet.
'Tis truly so.
Let's meet him and receive him.
Lo, where he comes.
Oh, my fair warrior,
My dear Othello,
it gives me wonder great as my content to see you here before me. Oh, my soul's joy! If after every tempest come such calms, may the winds blow till they have wakened death, and let the laboring bark climb hills of seas, Olympus high and duck again as low, as hells from heaven. If it were now or ever most happy before I fear, my soul hath her content so absolute, that not another comfort like to this succeeds in unknown fate.
the heavens forbid, but not that our loves and comforts should increase, even as our days do grow.
Amen to that, sweet powers. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. It is too much of joy, and this, the great discords be. That error our hearts shall make.
Oh, you are well tuned now. I'll set down the pegs that make this music as honest as I am.
Come, let us to the castle. News, friends. Our wars are done. The Turks are drowned. How does my old acquaintance of this isle? Honey, you shall be well desired in Cyprus. I have found great love amongst them. Oh, my sweet, I prattle out of fashion, and I dote. In mine own comforts, I prithee, good Iago, go to the bay and disembark my coffers. Bring thou the master to the citadel. He is a good one, and his worthiness does challenge much respect. Come, Desdemona, once more we'll meet at Cyprus.
Do thou meet me there in the harbor. Come hither, if thou beest valiant, as they say, base men being in love, then have a nobility as their nature is more than love is native to them. List me. The lieutenant tonight watches on a court of guard. First I must tell thee this. Desdemona is directly in love with him.
With him? Why, 'tis not possible.
Lay thy finger thus, and let thy soul be instructed. Mark me with what violence she first loved the Moor, but for bragging and telling her fantastical lies. To love him still for prating. Let thy not discreet heart think it. Her eye must be fed, and what delight shall she have to look for the devil? When the blood is made dull with the active sport, there should be, again, to inflame it and give satiety, fresh appetite, loveliness and flavor, sympathy in years, manners and beauties, all which the Moor is defective in. Now, for want these of required conveniences, her delicate tenderness will find itself abused, begin to heave the gorge, disrelish and abhor the Moor. Very nature will instruct her in it and compel her to have some second choice. Now, sir, this is granted, as it is a most pregnant and unforced position. Who stands so eminent in the degree of this fortune as Cassio does? A knave very voluble, no further conscionable than in putting on the mere form of civil and humane seeming, for the better compassing of his salt and most hidden loose affection? Why, none. Why, none. A slipper and subtle knave, a finder of occasions, that has an eye could stamp and counterfeit advantages, though true advantage never present itself, a devilish knave. Besides, the knave is handsome, young, and hath all those requisites in him that folly and greed minds look after. A pestilent complete knave, and the woman hath found him already.
I cannot believe that in her. She's full of most blessed condition.
Blessed figs then, the wine she drinks is made of grapes. If she had been blessed, she would never have loved the Moor. Blessed pudding, didst thou not see her paddle with the palm of his hand? Didst thou not mark that?
Yes, that I did, but that was but courtesy.
Lechery by this hand, an index and obscure prologue to the history of lust and foul thoughts. They met so near with their lips, and their breaths embraced together. Villainous thoughts, Rodrigo. When these mutualities so marshal the way, hard at hand comes the master and main exercise, the incorporate conclusion. Pish! But, sir, be you ruled by me. I have brought you from Venice. Watch you tonight. For the command, I'll lay it upon you. Cassio knows you not. I'll not be far from you. Do you find some occasion to anger Cassio, either by speaking too loud, or tainting his discipline, or from what other course you please, which the time shall more favorably minister?
Well,
Sir, he is rash and very sudden in choler, and haply may strike at you. Provoke him, that he may, for even out of that will I cause these of Cyprus to mutiny, whose qualification shall come no true taste again but by the displanting of Cassio. So shall you have a shorter journey to your desires, by the means I shall not have to prefer them, and the impediment most profitably removed, without which there is no expectation of our prosperity.
I will do this, if I can bring it to any opportunity.
I warrant thee. Meet me by and by at the citadel. I must fetch his necessaries ashore. Farewell.
Adieu.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt and of great credit. The Moor, howbeit that I endure him not, is of a constant, loving, noble nature, and I dare think he'll prove to Desdemona a most dear husband. Now I do dear love her too, not out of absolute lust. Through peradventure I stand accounted for as great a sin, but is partially led to die at my revenge, for that I do suspect the lusty Moor hath leaped into my seat, the thought whereof doth, like a poisonous mineral, gnaw my innards, and nothing can or shall content my sword till I am even with him, wife for wife, or failing so, yet that I put the Moor at least into a jealousy so strong that judgment cannot cure. Which thing to do, if this poor trash of a Venus, who I'm trace, for this quick hunting, stand the putting on, I'll have my Michael Cassio on the hip, abuse him to the Moor in the rank garb, for I fear Cassio with my nightcap too. Make the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me, for making him egregiously an ass, and practising upon his peace and quiet even to madness. 'Tis here, but yet confused. Knavery's plain face is never seen till used.